looking at showers overnight tonight. The WVTT Severe Weather Action Team also keeping an eye on southern Allegheny County. There's a flash flood warning there in effect through 7 o'clock tonight. That includes Bolivar and Wellsville as well, Alexa.
Isn't it supposed to dry up later in the week, though, Jeff?
Yeah, that's the good news in all of this. We're looking at a good rest of the week and even into the weekend as well. So complete weather details are coming up here on WVTT's 6 o'clock report. Well, they say what happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas. States across the country are laying their cards on the table and admitting they want a slice of the casino money pie.
Poppy Harlow reports politicians seem more willing to roll the dice on the chance that jobs and revenue will outweigh the social risks.
35 years ago, it was all about Vegas and Atlantic City. Today, casino gaming, both commercial and tribal, has spread to 39 states. Downtown Detroit, just outside Philadelphia, and now they're dealing cards in Cleveland.
There are a few places like that left in the United States that are tremendous markets.
States like Massachusetts want to go all in, ready to issue licenses for 3 resort casinos. Caesar CEO Gary Loveman wants one of them.
If casino gaming can get expanded in the way that you would like to see it, what does it mean for jobs?
Well, it would certainly mean hundreds of thousands of jobs. The industry already employs
hundreds of thousands of new jobs?
Of new jobs, sure. I mean, just in Ohio alone, between the 4 new facilities that'll open in the next year, that'll be somewhere around 6,000 to 8,000 new positions.
It's not just jobs Massachusetts is after. Over the past 20 years, it's watched its neighbor Connecticut earn $6 billion in gaming revenue, some from day-tripping Massachusetts gamblers. Last year alone, Pennsylvania raked in $1.5 billion in taxes from gaming revenue, the most of any state. More than 340,000 Americans work in the casino industry. The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that will grow 13% by 2020.
We have 10 casinos here in Las Vegas, and then we have another 40 casinos across the country.
This is a bet on the future of the U.S. consumer, that we will continue to spend in the way that we have.
There's no question about that. We've seen a steady incline in the amount of money these people will spend.
Loveman says grandmothers are key.
Grandma has 2 things that are important. She has more money than her granddaughter has, and she has more time.
But industry experts note casino gaming revenue accounts for less than 5% of state budgets, and they point out the social costs, namely addiction, which can lead to bankruptcy, embezzlement, theft, and divorce. Analysts say the closer casinos are to people, the higher their propensity to gamble.
Why shouldn't every American adult be able to do this? You can own a handgun, you can put your child up for adoption, you can buy liquor, you can sign contracts, you can invest all your money in one stock. But in most states, you can't go to a casino.
There is a strong counter-argument to that, and that is the social costs of gaming, compulsive gambling.
The only activity in casinos that worry me are the fact that about 1 to 2% of our visitors cannot control how much they gamble. And as a result, they do damage to themselves, to their families, and their other constituents. And that's a big deal. We have to take every single person who suffers this condition seriously and do everything we can to keep them out, provide them help and support.
Right now, many states are considering that risk, but also billions in potential tax revenue.
It hasn't saved Detroit.
No.
It's not going to save cities.
I don't see why anybody would ever argue it's going to save anything. I mean, it's going to be a stimulant to a city that's having its own challenges, but I think you'd be overreaching, anyone would be overreaching terribly to say that this is going to be a panacea for something.
Poppy Harlow, CNN, Las Vegas.
The OIean Common Council will meet tonight at 6:30. One of the resolutions on the table is a vote to allow the mayor of OIean to file an application that, if awarded, would mean that the city of OIean would enter into an agreement with the New York State Department of Conservation to fund a reforestation project in the city.
People are living longer. That means your retirement may be further away than you think. Our reporter Allison Kosick has more on why 67 could be the new 65.
When Social Security was created, the average American lived to about 60 years old. Today, life expectancy is much longer, putting more strain on government retirement programs. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development says by 2050, the average man will live 20 years past retirement age, up from 17 years in 2010. And the average woman will live 24 years beyond retirement, up from 20. To keep up with longer life expectancies, the OECD suggests governments raise the retirement age. If that doesn't happen, the cost may become unbearable because the Social Security Administration is already cash-strapped. It's paying out more in benefits than it takes in, and it's expected to run a $165 billion deficit this year. To combat that, the retirement age has been slowly rising. It's currently at 66 after sitting at 65 for decades. It's scheduled to reach 67 in 2022. The Congressional Budget Office says raising the retirement age to 70 could reduce the Social Security Administration's costs, and experts say extending the retirement age could even boost the economy because people would stay in the workforce longer. But not everyone may want to work that long, especially those in physically demanding jobs. I'm Allison Cossack in New York.
Much more of the 6 o'clock report is coming up, and Alexa, including the story of a couple that have been together for over 100 years, but suddenly they can't stand each other.
Well, if you tune in next, you'll be able to see what we're talking about.
Coming up next on the 6 o'clock report here on News Channel 25, WVTT.